It's been a long time coming, but I can see no other solution. The hairdressers, they're not opening, are they? Not anytime soon, anyway. I don't want a mullet or anything. Or, it's got to go. I think it's got to go. I'm building up to it. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know. Anyway, you didn't tune in to hear about me here, did you? The Premier League. This tournament, this football extravaganza. Got to be honest here. As a football fan, as someone that's bored out of their mind, back-to-back games, 3 or 4 games a day, Premier League games, in a sort of World Cup format. I don't mean in group stages, we get them all done, 3 or 4 games a day. To get the 92 remaining fixtures all sorted out, find out who's going down, find out who's, well, we know who's winning the title, but, Champions League spots, that sort of thing. I like it. It appeals to me, I must say. I've been bored, as I say, out of my mind. We all need something to do. I think football, football's quite important in that sense. It's not lost on me. I think it'd give everybody a little boost and all that sort of thing. I've got from a Hammers Chat point of view again. It would be great. We'd love to do. We'd be doing videos almost every day, like 3 or 4 of them, and give us something to get our teeth into rather than losing to jail on FIFA and stuff like that. That sounds appealing. But I can't help but feel that football is still operating from within. It's this weird sort of bubble that they're still looking to find a solution that is really going against not only what the government's recommended, what all the health experts in the world, the top virologists in the world are recommending. We're being told, lockdown, stay indoors to save lives. They think they've got a solution, and that's to put all the players into quarantine. Now, as we know about the disease, and we understand very little of it, this is brand spanking new, this thing. We understand that if you probably haven't had it for 2 weeks, and you tested at the start, and you come through at the end of it, and you're still clean at the end, then you possibly haven't got it. So there would be a quarantine period, which, as I say, at the moment, as far as we know, the science tells us at the moment, it's 2 weeks. That science may well change in June or July when they want to do this football extravaganza. So they put all the players into this quarantine. If they come through, then the football season starts or finishes, resumes. The tournament commences, let's say. I don't worry too much about where they'll play the fixtures, because in many respects it doesn't really matter, because the same logistical problems will happen. I don't know if you've seen on a lot of the news overseas, they're spraying and sanitising everything. They're sanitising the streets, they're spraying everything, and of course there's good reason for doing that. But again, we still don't understand how this thing is transmitted. And we know it's done through the air. We know if you get in close proximity with people, then that can be a problem. We're told to wash our hands. We're told to clean surfaces, and that's an awful lot of scrubbing down and sanitising. Particularly, bear in mind, sanitizer doesn't work. As many of you know, my wife works at a hospital. She is being told, and the NHS are being told by and large, that one of the best things that they use is not just hand sanitizer, which is very good for killing bacteria and stuff like that. But don't kill the virus. One of the best things for wiping stuff down is actually a bit of diluted bleach. Everywhere, every door handle, every button, everything. Can you imagine a whole film crew having to do all that? Can you imagine every player having to do that? Imagine every seat, even a machine that draws the chalk lines, every bit of the goal net, every single thing. The logistical issues are massive. I don't know, but I just wonder the scenario of all these people being put into solitary, basically, and then coming through sort of unscathed, and then some food gets delivered or something like that. I don't know. I just think it's a hell of a risk. But that's before we get to the human aspect. And I've laboured the point on this very channel on a number of occasions. But I do think it is well worth pointing it out, because we are dealing with human beings. I think it also does, is before we get onto that, I do think it ruins the integrity of the competition. I think if you were a team that got relegated or lost out on whatever the case may be, the Champions League or something like that, via this tournament, and you had done so because you weren't able to take your full team, your full best 11 into every match, you would feel a little bit hard done by. Because make no mistake about it, this is driven by money. Under the article, there was a little caveat saying the government may well be keen to push this forward to give the country a distraction. I'm not so sure about that. We've heard nothing from the government, and whatever they're doing, whatever the chief medical officer is doing, whatever the chief scientific officer is doing, it ain't thinking about football at the moment. I'm pretty sure the Chancellor, when he's doing his whatever it is, his 500 billion bailout, is probably not so worried about the 700 million that an already rich football might have to pay back to the TV companies. But what I'm saying is, you've got to get a broadcast crew in there. You've got to get all the coaches. You've got to get all the catering staff. All of these people to go into quarantine. That is an awful big ask. I've got to say, if I was, I would have to think twice about it. If I was in that situation, I wouldn't even think twice about it. If I was a multi-millionaire football player, and I was at home with my family and my wife, and then the call came in and the club said, we need you to play, we need you to represent us, I'd be there saying, well, hold on, the government aren't saying it's safe. It's not safe out there anymore. We're being told to stay at home. Oh, yeah, but we want you to come and we'll look after you. You'll be perfectly safe. I'd be thinking, well, hold on, you won't know I'm perfectly safe until 2 weeks later, will you? There's your initial risk. There's your initial problem with this whole thing. And even then, I think out of a squad of 25, I would be surprised. In fact, I know for a fact not all of them will say yes. I'd be surprised if 15 regular first teamers all said yes and agreed. Now, what about if they don't agree? Are the clubs going to penalise them? Are they going to withdraw wages? Is it ethically responsible to withdraw wages from a player that doesn't want to put himself and his family at risk? I think also if you are the family of the player, I think the wife, the children, I think they're all saying, we don't want you to go. Stay here. Why are you going? We've got everything we need here. We've got a nice big house. We're secure. We're able to feed ourselves. Why go? Why put yourself at risk? Why? So as Leicester can play Everton? I just don't think, in the bigger scheme of things, it probably weighs that heavily, or it probably counts for that much in the scheme of keeping yourself and keeping your family safe and keeping your loved ones safe at a time when a lot of people are scared, by the way. We're going to get to a point next week, because they talk about peaks. They think it might peak next week. Well, it'll only peak if it does, because everybody is locked up indoors. By the time they let everyone out again, it's going to shoot up. Well, look, without being too morbid about it, you may find yourself the national death rate running at between 500 and 1,000 in 10 days' time. There's going to be very little appetite for playing football then. People are going to be mourning. People are going to have bigger fish to fry. Yet still, football operates from within this bubble. It just can't seem to let go of the season. It can't seem to quite grasp that there has been a global pandemic. Well, you can even say global catastrophe. It has. There's no doubt. From a health point of view, from an economic point of view, it has been an absolute catastrophe. But still, football seems to think that it can carry on and finish its season. Now, it seems to think it's special, like it can go to the government cap in hand and say, let us play it out. We'll entertain. We'll entertain the country. Well, they won't entertain the country. They'll entertain football fans. There are still a load of people that don't watch football. In fact, there are more people in this country that don't watch football than do. And what about the cricket? What about the rugby? What about the tennis? What about the Formula One? Does everybody go and do the same thing? I think no. I think it's a logistical nightmare. I think all these medical staff don't need to have their eyes trained on what's going on in football. I really don't. And I also think you've got the problem, as I say, and I've made this point before. Let's have a little example here. So, West Ham and Aston Villa. I will use these because if it got to the last game of the season in this tournament, and it was one or the other, I saw them. One of us got to go down. Can you imagine if Aston Villa, of all their players have said yes? Grealish, who's been a bit of a naughty boy recently, says yes, I'm up for it. Jimmy McGinn, or whatever his name is, good little player. He said yes, I'm having some of that as well. All their players, I'm struggling thinking of players now. You know, the geezer they signed, but Tyrone Mings, whatever his name is, the geezer at the back, he's fit. All their best players are fit and firing. And they've said yes. I don't want to name any West Ham players because I'm making up that they might say no. But let's say 5 or 6 of what you might think of West Ham's first 11 don't want to play. They just want to stay at home with their families. So actually, we've got 5 or 6 of our regular first team players. And then we've got, I don't know, take your pick from the youth team. We have got Kemp or any of these players. Cullen wouldn't be there, of course. Diallo. Maybe Nathan Holland's back because Oxford, because the Football League have done something different. What I'm saying is, imagine if we have got 5 regular first team players and 6 youngsters in the team. Aston Villa beat us and Aston Villa stay up. Is that fair? Well, no, it's not. Why? Well, it's clearly it's not fair because one of them's got a stronger team than the other one. You're not operating from a position of parity. So I just don't see how this can ever work. And if you just look at it and just think, well, hold on a second. What if they actually went through this whole 2 weeks of quarantine, rigorous testing, and did all of this stuff with basically half-fit squads, and then out the other side of it, you found out after week 2 that somebody had it. Because they don't know that much about it, because the science isn't there. Maybe the symptoms can't be detected. Forget symptoms. Maybe the test doesn't even pick up that you've got the virus until you've had it for 3 days. Maybe that information comes out afterwards. And then you get to the end of 2 weeks, you find out, well, actually one person did have it. And now 15 of them have, 20 of them have. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people, as I say, catering people, broadcasters, all the players. I mean, a 25-man squad from each team, plus the coaching staff, plus the medics, plus the physios, catering, everything else, groundsmen, the lot. It's a logistical nightmare. And I've got to be honest with you, if I was a member of catering staff on minimum wage and the government are telling me to stay at home, but somebody at whatever stadium it's played at Reading Stadium, St George's Park, if it's played there, saying, oh, no, you've got to come into work now. Amongst all these people, hundreds of people, and it will be, for your £9 an hour or whatever, I'll be thinking, well, I don't really fancy that at all. Are you going to lose your job then? I just think it's an absolute nightmare. The concept of a football extravaganza or any sporting extravaganza from people who want to participate, I don't argue with. But you can't, if they're willing participants, that's fine. At the moment, that would be against the law, by the way. You're not allowed to do that. And I know this is being discussed afterwards. But I still think in 3 months' time, it's going to be pretty damn bad. There won't be a vaccine out as yet. They reckon it'll be 18 months. I think a tournament, as good as it sounds, might be nice. If there's a group of players that want to do it and want to entertain us, and they're happy to put themselves in that situation, come away from their families, go into quarantine, for our entertainment and our benefit, then great. Would I watch it? Yes, absolutely. But what I don't think you can do is make any decisions on the Premier League. Whatever happens in that tournament, it cannot decide who goes down, who stays up, and that sort of thing. Liverpool, yes, fine. They've got it. We all know they've won it anyway. But I tell you what, you cannot have a second-string reserve team battling first-teamers to see who stays in the Premier League. It just ain't fair, and it just ain't sporting.